Welcome to a very special show with the two founders of IQ Boxing, the two main men, the two people that make it tick. Straight out of Neasden, a very, very promising boxing gym, full of talent and full of talented trainers. Nicholas Prempah, Xavier Miller, how are you, gentlemen?
Very good, thank you, Cam.
Very, very good, Martin. Thanks.
Excellent. And you're fresh off the back. Let's get straight into it. You're fresh off the back of, we're recording this on a Monday. Saturday night, you two are both out of York Hall. It's 9 o'clock on a Monday. You're still grinding on the boxing stuff, I see there, Zav. Nick's taking it easy at home. 2 days on removed from Yusuf Kamari. An exceptional performance against Lee Hallett.
Definitely. I put a lot of pressure on Yusuf, but I don't expect anything less, to be honest with you. He's I'll sit for since the time I actually brought him to Steve's office. I said he's one of the most talented fighters in the UK. It's his timing, his distance, his defense, the way he puts punches together. I mean, every time he's on a Goodwin show, he just looks levels above most of the people that's on there. You can just tell that he's there's something special about him, and his performance was really, really good. He was very, very happy with it. He looked pleased. He doesn't say much, Yusuf. He just waits for everyone else to comment, really. But yeah, he looked really good.
He was class, and I had my son down there with me, and I was saying to him, "Watch Yusuf's feet. He just always had Hallett under pressure, just." Touching his feet forward consistently through the fight and not letting Hallett. Didn't have to do it with his hands. He was just keeping Hallett under pressure with his feet. And he was brilliant. And he really he did a number on Hallett, which not many people do. Yeah,
it's true. With Yusuf, one of the main attributes that he has is that he has a lot of presence in the ring. It doesn't matter what kind of fighter he's in front of. He seems to control, ring center. Obviously, anything that affects him is obviously if he's obviously coming all the way down to super featherweight. It did start to affect him, later on, because he is 27 now. He turned pro with Steve when he was 20. Yeah. So he's outgrown that weight a good 2-3 years ago to me. But that's how he prefers to fight. He is more of a front foot fighter. So yeah, and it doesn't matter who he's sparring. It could be a much bigger fighter. He just has that presence where you always know he's there.
Yeah, I was impressed because I've seen Yusuf for many, many years on many of Steve's shows and, on the bigger TV shows. He's an inside fighter. It seems like that's his sort of natural inclination, is to get inside. He was doing it better than ever, I thought, on Saturday night, and holding his feet and being there.
It's his first southpaw as well. That's his 19th pro fight. That's his first southpaw.
So what do you want to do with Yusuf now? He's coming off the back of that Bellotti fight. He comes and gets the win. What do you want to see him do now? What as sort of coaches, not just from a sort of career perspective, but as a fighter generally?
I think what we all really expect from Yusuf now is to start picking up a few titles. It's very unfortunate in his first title shot with a draw. And then the Castaneda fight, we all thought that he clearly won that fight. He didn't get lost on the split. No excuses, no complaints with the Bellotti fight. It's the first time we didn't really perform to the level that we're so used to. But yeah, I think next year he should be looking to pick up a couple of titles and, get back to, I'd eventually like him to work towards European level. I think he's that good. It just has to be done. Things have to be done the right way, and that's the reason why I encourage him to go back to Steve. And I want him managed properly.
He's got that beautiful. He's in that middle ground now, where he's still young enough that he can move on, but he's young with experience, bundles of experience, and a great team behind him, and Steve and yourselves that can sort of progress him.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't shy away from any fight with Yusuf, because you can always tell the relationship with a boxer and a coach is, what fights you're willing to put your fighter in. I put him into those sort of fights because I knew he was good enough. Yeah. And he's proved that, losing on a split or a draw, it just goes to show exactly where he is. It's just, just needs to just do one or two things a little bit different just to make it a little more convincing. And he's there. And I expect him to, next title shot, he'll definitely pick up a title 100%. and then he'll kick on from there. But yeah, like you say, you're spot on. He's at that age now where it's nice. He's 26, 27 with nearly 20 pro fights. I mean, now it's time to start moving forward and building. And I've always believed that Steve was the right guy to do that. They've always had a very good relationship, and with Youssef, it's very important for him to have the right people around him, because that's what he feeds off. He loves being in the gym. He's in the gym every single day. He does his PTs. He's never not here. He loves boxing. A lot of his fans are from the gym. He does cover a few classes here and there. He does a lot of PTs. He is the gym essentially. I mean, when me and Nick got the building in 2013, 2014, he was one of the first fighters to walk through the door. We knew him long before that, but he is a very important part of the gym and the community. So, the better he does, the better for everybody. And we want, and because he's from Wembley, which is neighbour to Neasden, it's very important that he does well.
Yeah, and let's take it a step back then, from focusing in on Youssef to touching on IQ Boxing, Neasden Boxing Club. Nick, Xavier, you both sort of set it up, as you said, sort of many years ago. Tell me about it. Tell me about sort of Neasden Boxing Club, IQ Boxing Club. Explain to people sort of where it comes from and sort of where Neasden sort of forms into IQ, which is sort of the charity arm as well, isn't it, of the boxing club?
Yeah, like Xav says, we started 2012, 2013, something along that. We both, avid boxing fans and interested in boxing. And, when we first started, we didn't necessarily have intentions of wanting to open an amateur gym. We really wanted to get into the pro circuit, but we knew that we needed to get some, let's say, experience behind us, and also be able to generate some fighters. Our biggest thing was always to try and style ourselves off the Kronk gym, develop fighters, bring them up through into the pro game, and then get them on winning titles. So we set up Neasden Boxing Club initially in terms of the amateur arm, the charity arm of the boxing club, which was initially to give young people an opportunity, and the local community opportunity to just get engaged in boxing. We've always wanted to develop fighters and be able to give them opportunities in boxing, but ultimately what we wanted to do as well was just develop people who would be able to go on the community and be able to give back, whether it be coaches, individuals to just develop. And IQ was always in the background. So ironically, me and Zav both worked in education. I still do. It's something like that, yeah. Something like that, yeah. And then we both always wanted to box smart. We always thought about intelligent boxing. We always used to tell guys, use your IQ, use your boxing IQ. And so hence it just birthed IQ Boxing because of education and wanted to teach. And, we thought, needing a high IQ is what you need in order to progress in boxing. So, we had the amateur arm, and, that was going on for a little while. But in the background, IQ was always developing because we always wanted to develop that professional arm for boxers who wanted to take it a little bit further. And like I've said, Youssef, Dennis Wahome, Adrian Redman, Bobby Woods, and a few others were the first set of fighters that we had in the gym, who were all of them in their outright were fantastic amateurs, done really, really well, and then sort of transitioned with us. When
including Robbie Chapman as well. Robbie Chapman was part of
Robbie Chapman, yeah, Robbie Chapman, who all came along with us. So, as the club grew, on an amateur circuit, we were quite distinctive in the style that we had. We had a very sort of pro style. Our boxers would box a particular way, and everyone was always interested in terms of, why have you got your guys boxing this way? And we always said, it's about later on down in their career, later on down in their boxing career, we want to give them a style that they're comfortable with, and it's seamlessly easy to transition over. And that's been going on for 10 plus years now. We still have
Nick, you got to put it out there. When we first came on the circuit with that Midwest style of boxing, there was a lot of backlash. Most of the gyms, they didn't like that style, because we had one particular fighter that they called him the Neasden Mayweather, because they didn't you know, the English style of boxing is, a lot of guys stand straight up, use a lot of angles, bouncing up and down their toes. None of our fighters box like that. So it took me and Nick years, because we were a small club coming up, and then you had the likes of Finchley, Repton, all these clubs have been around for years. We had to fight our way to get in there, to get respect. And it took us a long time, but, me and Nick put a lot of hard work in and we did it. Yeah. Sorry, Nick.
No, yeah. I think, that journey along was really important for me and Zav, because it gave us a real perspective in terms of what we needed to do in order to get fighters to where we wanted to get them to. And, I think the birth of that and, IQ then really became a really established name, especially when we transitioned in the pro ranks. And we then started to have guys like K Prosper, who came over to us and, won an English title, went on to go and box Sandor Martin. People like Jerome Stay Ready Campbell, who started at the gym as well, and a few others who have come through IQ as well. And I think the real thing about us as a gym and coaches is just developing people as boxers and giving them a style and an IQ that they're able to carry over. And I think whenever you see anybody come out of our gym, they always have a distinctive style to them, but equally to us as a gym, which is always being, like we say, intelligent, but always having a presence in that ring. You look at Yusuf, you look at Dennis Wahab, Adrian Redmond, Kay Prosper. All of these guys have a unique presence in themselves in the gym, and that's based from us as a club. You come to our amateurs, you see our amateurs box on shows, and they have a distinct presence and style in the ring. And I think that's just come down just from the years of sort of me and Zav having a very clear vision about what we wanted to do, which was develop fighters, give them a unique style. Me and Zav are both very different in the terms of styles of boxing that we like. I like very sort of long, gangly fighters, and Zav is very much, he likes the guys really short and technical and who will catch and shoot and whatnot. But our styles complement one another as coaches, as well as the people we have in the gym, because they have an element of each other. And I think for all the fighters that have come through IQ, there's always one pertinent thing that always comes out. It is just go out there and box, relax, box and enjoy it. We just want our guys and girls to enjoy it. And I think that's just shone through in all the years that we've been doing what we've been doing.
That's amazing. And I'm guessing you as well as building them as fighters, you build them as people. And I guess that comes from the education background that you both have as well. Yeah. And I've seen those relationships. And so the likes of where you were saying there about Jerome Campbell, I was sat just in front of Xavier Saturday night when he was fighting. Zav is still sort of as invested in him now, sort of as willing for him to do well now. There's no bitterness towards it. I've seen Zav when Robbie Chapman's been in the away corner before, and Zav's sort of up on his feet and throwing every punch with Robbie. That relationship to the boxers must be sort of as equal as it is to sort of the passion you have for that is as much as the passion it is for teaching them to box.
Yeah, I think what people have to remember. So what people have to remember is that it's the boxers that take belts home. Coaches don't take belts home. So if you started with us, it's important for you to go on and win something. It doesn't matter if you're at this gym or you've moved on to another gym. Me and Nick feel the same, because one thing that's not going to change is that you came through IQ Boxing Club. That's never going to change. And we don't ever have any bitterness or a problem with any boxer decide to move on, because boxers do that all the time, especially in the latter parts of their career. I mean, it's just natural. You wish that obviously, all boxers would just stay with their team because they want to come and they go. But I've always said a fighter should make that decision for themselves. It's just like trying to tell a boxer when they should retire. At the end of the day, you have to be respectful. You can have your opinion on it, but it's up to them. So that's why me and Nick have always had a good relationship. And like I said, I think probably coming from an education background, we don't have that sort of like issue or feeling towards anybody, because we're all trying to get somewhere, and the only way we're going to get somewhere, we all support each other. Like with Jerome, I actually felt like I was in the corner because I've known him so long, and actually one of my closest friends and Jerome's dad are very, very close, so we kind of all grew up together. So that's why I'm so close to Jerome. Like it doesn't matter who he is boxing, I'm always going to be, behind him. I think he's technically very, very good, and he just needs to be encouraged all the time. He's a good fighter. He's the same with anybody else that's left and that come through our gym. If they do well, it just looks good on everybody, because most of the guys that actually turn pro, they turn pro of us. Yeah. Which the ones that you still see us have a relationship with, either they're still here or they turn pro at this gym. I mean, that's big for me and Nick, because that means we've been part of their journey.
And are you still running the amateur side now down at the gym?
Yeah, we're still running it, still involved. Still got the guys coming out, and the girls. And it's a big thing. It's a big part of the club. I don't think we'll ever stop having it, because it's fantastic for the boxers coming through the amateurs to see the likes of Yusuf, Adrian, Dennis, Kay in the gym, training, because they're motivators. And for the guys who may not even want to be boxers later on in life, it's nice just to have those people there to be able to talk to and hear their stories. And I thought one of the wonderful things about Saturday was majority of Yusuf fans were people from the gym, and the fact that we saw some of our amateurs wanting to get pictures with Yusuf. Yusuf's an everyday person in the gym. He's an everyday person. Like Zav says, he's always in there. There's no one who doesn't know him. There's no one he won't stop to have a conversation with. And that's the same for all of the pros in the gym. But for the amateurs, it's fantastic, because it gives them a clear pathway, a stepping stone to say, well, do you know what? If I want to do this, these guys have done it before me, and look at where they've gone. And we've got Yusuf, he's boxed on big undercards. We've had a few others who've gone in and had title fights and eliminators, so they can see that the pathway's there, and they know myself, Zav, and any other coach in the gym, will always give them the time of day in order to try and achieve that dream if it's for them.
Yeah, and if they can't learn from the likes of Kay and Yusuf, then they're not going to learn anywhere.
No. It's true. It's true. And I think the other important thing is that I think that for most of the guys that actually came through the amateurs with us and are still here, it's important for them to go on and win something in the pros, because it's that consistency. I mean, Dennis won things in the amateurs, Yusuf won things in the amateurs, Adrian, all these guys, some sort of accolades in the amateurs, and it's very important to me that they go on to at least pick up some form of a title. So that's me and Nick get more joy out of those guys winning something than anybody else, because they came through the system with us. So it's very important. If they go away and win a Southern Era or English, it means a hell of a lot to us. Definitely. I mean, that will mean more to me than a big TV fight to win a series. That the fact that they've actually they were birthed here.
What's your highlights? Saying you've done, I mean, let's call it 10, maybe 11 years. We'll go back and check the maths. What's your highlights, each of you, out of that time at the gym?
I think for me, in the amateurs, the highlight was Yusuf winning a Southern Era belt, England boxing in the amateurs. That was a big deal. I think Dennis, were home picking up the novice title. That was a big deal. There was a unique amateur tournament, and we had 3 other boxers in there. I think it was Shaquille Johnson, Adrian Redman, and who was the last one, Nick? Oh, and Mr. Williams, yeah. And all 3 of them won a gold. There's a lot. Me and Nick have had so many good memories. And then with the pros, I think Yusuf Kamara beat Liam Dillon is one of the best small fights I've ever seen. Kay Prosper winning that English title, I mean, that was amazing, because it was such a hard fight, and he fought a real live way. I mean, at that time, Sam was extremely dangerous. A lot of people were avoiding him, but Kay wanted to win the title against somebody, some stature, and he went and done that, and he became the first English champion, I think, in Luton. So again, that was a big deal. I think the way Yusuf performed on Sky when he first got his break against Kane Baker was absolutely outstanding. Everyone wouldn't stop talking about him. He just looked amazing in there. Looked amazing at Castaneda as well. And then obviously And I'd say Dillian White winning his rematch against Povetkin, he didn't put a foot wrong. I'd say, yeah, up until this point, yeah, as well as Bilal winning the Southern Era last week, yeah, there's just too many for me, to be honest. Yeah,
how about you, Nick? What are your standout moments?
The standout one for me is we had an amateur in the gym called Plumady who went and won a novice title in the amateurs.
Yeah, champion 2016, yeah.
That was a massive moment. Just happy for him as a young man because he's such a technically gifted, very good boxer, but actually a very funny young man. So I think just along the way, I think his ritual was if he won, he'll have a cheeseburger, and he did that all the way to the final. So that was a good one.
Was he about two weight divisions up by the end?
I think we tried to, but he still wouldn't be able to put the weight on. So
yeah.
I think there was that. I think some really good moments. I think was, like I've alluded, it was them challenging for titles and whatnot. Was being with Dennis Verhoeven when he boxed Liam Dillon on at a Goodwin show. I thought he boxed fantastically, which I was unfortunate not to get the decision. I think that was another split. But again, boxed fantastically. I think I've had some really big nights in boxing. Working with some fighters, up and coming fighters. Shannon Ryan and a few others to name. But I think in terms of in the gym, for me, it's been, me and Robbie have had some really good nights in the amateurs where he's boxed some, guys. I remember he boxed for a Southern area amateur title against Obi, who's about to box at next weekend on the Boxer Bournemouth show. They had a fantastic amateur bout. It's one of the best amateur bouts I've been involved in. Atmosphere, four eyes, quality, boxing. Zab's alluded to a few. I think one of the best nights we've had in pro boxing, yes, was Dillian, but for me was when Kay won the title. That night was fantastic. But when he defended it in Luton, against Bilal Raymond, I thought that was one of the best nights because Kay actually really showed how good he was of a fighter. Then I know a lot of people at that point weren't sure about if Kay could do it or whatnot. But for me, that was one fantastic night because he just showed his levels, and that sort of set the stepping stone to. And even when he boxed Sandor Martin, I thought that was a fantastic night. It wasn't ideal for us on the night in terms of results, but just seeing Kay, a man from Luton with a big dream, being able to box on a big platform for a European title meant everything. And that's what the gym's about, is trying to get these guys to realize and live these dreams of theirs. And someone like Kay can potentially say he's boxed potentially a future Hall of Famer if Sandor goes on and does what he does. And and that's a big thing. And for me, those are some of the moments that, as a coach, that's what you get into boxing for, is to try and help guys realize their dreams. And those are the big ones for me.
Yeah, and those K fights, the Samo Mason, where he wins the English, and then the Bilal Raymond fight, they showed the adaptability of Kay that you sort of bred into him, and not to disregard any of the work that, say, Terry Stewart had done with him before as well, but how you were able to guide him through those two fights. Samo Mason was a power puncher, feared. Every time he hit, it felt I was sat ringside that night. Every time he threw something, you thought that's a rocket. But Kay was boxing so well that he stayed out of danger. And then the Raymond fight, that's just before COVID hit, wasn't it? That one,
yeah. Before COVID, a couple of weeks before.
Yeah, Raymond was like 6'2" or something. He was huge, and again, to adapt his style to be able to take on that different challenge that was there. He boxed so well that night. It was great to watch.
Yeah, I think with those two fights in particular, it just goes to show you, what kind of fighter Kay is, because there was two completely different game plans, and he followed both of them to the T. That's why I'm so disappointed I didn't get a chance to train him for the Sandor fight, because I'm not sitting here saying that he would have won, but what I'm saying is that Kay is very, very good at following a game plan. But when I came back from the rematch with Povetkin and Youssef's fight against Kane Baker, when I came back from Gibraltar, I had like 2 weeks with Kay. So we saw 1 week of sparring, and obviously you're tapering down for the final week. And I think to go into the biggest fight of his life, he needed me there, like for a full camp. I think it would have made the world of difference. But because Kay works full time as well, there was no way that he could get out to Portugal for that camp, which would have been ideal. So yeah, that's probably my only regret in boxing, is that I wasn't able to give him the kind of time that he needed, because he like I said, he's proved that he's intelligent enough to follow a game plan from beginning to end. Because in the first Sam Mason fight, he got clocked in the first round. There was a lot of trouble.
He went through the ropes, didn't he? Backed right into the ropes,
yeah.
And
in the final round, he was in a lot of trouble because he didn't do the right things in terms of making weight. And because Sam's power was in his front hand, that was the reason to switch Kay southpaw in the rematch. So he'd be more effective, because obviously southpaws are so used to boxing southpaws. So we're used to boxing orthodox fighters. When they box southpaws, sometimes they find it a little bit difficult, a bit awkward, because they don't come against them as much. So, and Kay is quite unique. It is an awkward sort of southpaw stance that he has, but I didn't change it too much. He was quite good on the outside with it. He's not a good inside fighter with southpaw. He's more comfortable as an orthodox fighter, but outside, that's where he gave Sam a lot of trouble. As Sam was walking forward. So yeah, Kay honestly has overachieved, and he's actually encouraged, I'd say, every other fighter in the gym from what he was able to do. So yeah, Kay's a big part of our coaching journey, definitely.
So tell me now about the current cohort of fighters you've got down at IQ Boxing. Let's give people an insight to all the current names that you've got there.
Okay. I'll say first of all, the heavyweight that I've got right now, Ergul Elazaj. I'm predicting that he will go a very, very long way. To me, he's as skilled as Youssef. He rolls shots off the shoulder easily. He looks like an Andy Ruiz type of fighter. He looks overweight, but the way he moves is unbelievable. He sparred Dillian White, he sparred Derek Chisora, sparred Fraser Clark, and he's done well against all of them. He's just an exceptional fighter, and I predict to go a long, long way. So that's my heavyweight. We've got Jesse Brandon, who's signed to Wasserman. He's had 3 pro fights so far. He looks like a little star in the making. If he keeps going the way he's going, then he's got a 4-year deal with Wasserman, which is great, because then he'll get a chance to be built properly on a platform. The other side of boxing is very, very difficult. Always having to sell tickets. I think it's an important part of a boxer's career. But if there is a way you can get a long-term contract, then you're guaranteed a purse. You're guaranteed fights. So yeah, Jesse's got a good team behind him. He's got a advisory team, Disturbing Sports, who also look after Chris Congo, Jamie TKV. So yeah, Jesse's in a very good place. We've also got Alfie Clegg, who's was on a good win show a few weeks ago. Very, very talented. He wanted to make some changes. He did that. Slightly changing his style. He's a very, very good fighter, athletic, good footwork, good punch picker, and he'll be fighting for an IBO youth title next, probably in February.
He was fun. He was flashy, fun, hit hard. I liked him.
Yeah, and then we've got the Keani brothers as well. You've had. I know you've had Amar. I know Amar's been signed to Steve a while ago. I've only had them at my gym for about nine months. Kasim and Amar, honestly, great, 2 great guys. And then we represent Slough. They've got their own gym in the middle of the shopping mall in Slough. Everybody knows them, and they're really, really nice people. And it's important again. They haven't. For them to win a Southern Area or an English title will mean everything to the gym. I'm talking about their gym and their community. Kasim had his debut the other day on Steve's show. He signed to Steve Goodwin. Outstanding talent as well. Yeah, I think that's the unless I've missed anybody, that's the new batch at the moment. Unless I missed anyone there.
Ernest Beck.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you're going to talk about Ernest, yeah.
He's one of our amateurs who's come through to the pro scene. He had a really good debut on the Steve show.
I don't forget his amateur. Don't forget he won a gold at Box Cup as well. Ernest.
He won a Box Cup gold. Yeah, definitely did. He's one of our. You look at him. He must be no taller than about 5'6", 5 foot something. A small powerhouse, but he's really exciting. Really goes for it. He's got a massive following. He calls himself the Polish Warrior. He's got a massive following behind him, and we hope he will do really, really well. Be able to pick up a title or two on the way. I'm trying to think who else we've got in.
Yeah, how long has Bilal been with us now? It's only about 5-6 months, isn't it?
Yeah, Bilal's been 7 or so months. Yeah, Bilal as well. Bilal
picked up his first title in that time.
Impressive.
Yes, impressive. Who else was trying to think? I think that's it at the minute now. I think those are the new batch that we have. But you know, boxing is I call it the Big Brother house. There's always someone coming in. So yeah, but for us, it's been a very good year. You know, to end with Yusuf's performance, Bilal's title, to have a few people make their debuts and whatnot. It's been a good year, and you know, we're hoping in 2024 to pick up some more titles and be able to roll forward. So yeah, we're really excited about what's happened, especially in the latter months of the year. Unfortunate for Alfie, he was due to fight, you know, last weekend, but it was unable to happen. So you know, hopefully he picks up a title in the year. Same with Yusuf. Bilal hopefully be able to push on as well, and then hopefully, you know, in 2024 the introduction. You know, we had Adrian, he was due to fight for a title, but unfortunately got really injured. So hopefully he can recover from that and be able to have that title eliminator or title shot. And then we're just pushing.
Kay's coming back as well.
Oh yeah, Kay's going to come back. We can't forget that.
He's got his license. He's got his license again now, so he'll be making he'll have his comeback fight in March, and then I think Steve will push him on to maybe going for an English title again or some form of a belt. For Kay, he wants to have one more go. He doesn't want to end his career on the Sandal fight, even though I said to him, "You've overachieved," but he said he knows he can do better, so he wants to come back and have another go. Which is, like I say, you know, it's his choice. Respectfully.
Awesome, gents. We'll wrap it up. Is there anything you want to pass on? Final words about IQ Boxing, what people should know about you, all the work you do in the community. Any final sort of messages to people who may be watching?
I think the biggest thing I will say is we're not just a boxing club. We're a community club, and we're here to help the whole community. It doesn't matter your ability, age, race, creed, sexual orientation, whatever. IQ's a home for everyone. So if you ever see us or you ever walk by, come and say hello. Everyone's welcome, and it's one happy place. And you'll most probably see me and Zav at the door, having to go at one another, calling each other out for sparring. So that's always interesting. So come on down.
And I can attest, like being around York Hall and seeing you guys and seeing your fighters, there isn't really a sort of happier, friendlier group of people around boxing. Like all top people, lovely people, make people feel welcome. And I'm sure the environment is the same down at the gym. And so, yeah, I wish you the most successful 2024. All those names that you
tell Jamie to get ready. Tell Jamie Spade to get ready. He said he's going to spar me, so tell him to get ready. I'm waiting.
Jamie Spade.
Yeah,
okay.
we're going to spar. We're going to do about 6 rounds.
All right, what weight we talking, Zav?
I don't mind giving away the weight. That's fine. That's fine.
Don't encourage this, please.
No, I'm encouraging it. I'm turning up with a camera. We are.
Everyone's going to turn up. Everybody's going to turn up.
Yeah, there's no sparring in sparring, right? This is serious.
Don't worry. I love Jamie, so I'm going to carry him. But then you have to. Then you got to bring the next victim. It's fine. I'll carry him.
I've cornered Jamie before, actually. So yeah, I've seen what he's like.
Good guy, very good guy. One of the most likable guys in boxing. Jamie Spade, good guy.
He really is. Gents, IQ Boxing, as I say, wish you nothing but the best through 2024. And yeah, people get down. If you're around Neasden, you're around that way, get down and support the community as you know you sort of support back. And yeah, gents, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, champ. Thank you. See you soon.
Always welcome. You take care.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye bye.